Welcome to the WellPlayed DLC podcast, Australia's juiciest gaming podcast, powered by SteelSeries, but more on that later. I am Zach Jackson, and joining me is James Wood.
Howdy, gamers.
Adam Ryan.
Hello there.
And Nathan Hennessy.
How do?
Welcome back for this week, the last week of January and first week of Feb.
Oof, can't believe it.
I know, right? It's insane, isn't it?
It has actually been a pretty long month, if we're being honest.
You feeling
like a lot has happened in January.
Are you energized for February?
Oh, fuck no. I haven't been energized in 20 years.
Oh, it's terrified of February.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
glad we're all perked up, ready to go. Nah, it's good to see you guys. James, I got a question for you. Question without notice here. When is the last time you had a nice iced latte? Sorry.
Oh, like 3 days ago?
Yeah, I was about to say that's his regular.
Yeah, I know it's regular, but I just wanted to, because you should be perked up. You should be good to go if you had one today, but 3 days ago.
You might not still be running on that.
Like, the thing is, I know our podcasts are kind of an exhausting affair. So at around 4:30 this afternoon, I had a small black coffee, just enough to like keep me a little fun, you know.
What if you have
He needs his calf.
What if you have? What happens if you have like a medium one size one?
That's too much fun. Nobody wants that.
For who though?
Well, for you, for sure. But...
Starts munging on his teeth mid-podcast.
Yes.
That's yours swinging.
I can make this microphone disappear.
Oh, party trick.
How many coffees do you roll with a day?
Oh, just one.
Just one?
Yeah.
He respects his bowels.
Nathan, how about you? You're a one. You're a one.
I take a half. I do a half of one, mate.
Nathan just sniffs coffee once a day and then runs to the shitter.
Have you ever tried decaf?
Yeah.
Does that do like?
Is the caffeine the diuretic?
No. It's the bean.
Oh, it's
beans.
It's those beans.
But
Those beans make me jump?
Yeah, right.
Oh.
There you go. Adam, how many coffees do you have a day, mate?
I try to stick to one, but I also work from home, so it's all too easy for me to go go downstairs and just grab the AeroPress and go for a second. So
The AeroPress.
Okay. AeroPress. If you haven't used it, it's a great little.
Never even heard of it.
It's like a 1 cup French press.
Yeah, I use a French press.
Okay. It's easier, and it makes a very smooth coffee. It takes all the bitterness out. It's great. I couldn't recommend it enough.
I kind of feel like if you're hanging out at home and it's around 1:30, 2 o'clock, and you're a bit bored, you're kind of like, I'll just have another coffee. And it's a terrible impulse that should be curbed. But
Especially if you enjoy the flavour.
I do.
Much easier. Yeah.
I do. It usually goes, it'll get to the end of an exhausting meeting where I just have to listen to corporate bullshit, and I'll be like,
kind of looks like a
just
dick
going to
pump.
duck away for a coffee.
It's time. What looks like a pump?
Like the AeroPress looks a bit like a dick pump kind of thing.
How many coffees a day do you have, Zach?
Not enough, apparently.
Or too many.
Yeah. Different lane though.
One, sometimes two. If I'm not working, if I'm at home, it'll be two. But yeah, normally just one.
There you go.
There you go.
Behave with the AeroPress.
No, I'm not an AeroPress kind of guy, mate.
What's your brand?
I have a Breville coffee machine thing.
Oh, you've got like the espresso machine thing, yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They can't ever ask him for a coffee though.
I didn't I make you one?
Nah, mate, I asked you for one. You're like, you might have to walk down the street. It's like, why bother?
How good is that? As you see,
I do remember that. I do, because that's when you came and collected all the goods.
Yep. Real hospitable bloke. 10 out of 10.
God.
Next time, I promise I'll give. There was, I think there was a reason. Next time, I'll definitely make you one. I do apologize.
It was a reason, because he couldn't be asked.
No, I always like making one.
Today I learned.
I think it was more that I was scared that Nathan might just end up shitting himself.
Oh, mate.
To be fair, reasonable. Oh no.
Oh fucking hell! All right, video games. Eh? Let's talk about those.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Well, we've got no real reviews to talk about this week because everyone's either busy doing stuff or, yeah, well, that's it, or they haven't done anything. But James, what have you been playing the past week, mate?
So,
Tell me.
just Alan Wake 2, actually. So I am almost done. I've reached like I'm right before the end of Alan's story, and I'm pretty close to the end of Saga's story. Based on the chapter names I've got left, I am fucking hyped. Very, very good. For those in the know, I have just done the cinema segment of Alan's story, which was probably one of my favorite parts of the whole game, just vibe-wise, the loop, the masks. Just, you know, I mean, it's Alan Wake 2. It knows what it's doing. It hasn't put a foot wrong yet. I am dying to know what Door's deal is. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
I love that I'll get like periodic messages from you being like, this game is so great because of X, Y, and Z. And it's just been leading up to the end and you're so close now. I'm just, being that I've played it already. It's like I'm right back there again.
You get to like relive it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's wonderful. I'm very much enjoying your playthrough, James.
Good.
Nice. Good stuff. Nathan, what have you been playing?
Pretty much the same as last week, just jumping in and out of the finals whenever I have a spare moment, because as I kind of mentioned, I don't need more than 20 minutes to dive in and dive out and feel like I've had a satisfying session. Although, I decided, for whatever reason, I had insomnia, decided to jump on at like 5 in the morning or something, jumped into a, solo queue, jumped into a team with 2 other players for quick cash. Actually, I thought I found how to type in the chat, but I accidentally pressed the key to like join voice chat. Like, no, I don't want to talk to people. So I immediately jumped out, but the game glitched. I wasn't in the voice chat, but I could still hear the other 2 players. Boy, I got called a lot of slurs. Lots of racist slurs. I'm just trying to do my own thing, and these guys are just like, this guy's fucking trash. Is this his first game? What the fuck? Like, and then the racial slurs. I was like, oh boy, don't miss this. So yeah, the kids are all right. They have not changed. They are still venomous.
So I'm really thankful that by default, all of that shit is off. Like, you have to opt into any of that. I don't miss the days where you have to go through and fucking mute everyone in a server. It's nice that
Call
it's
of Duty.
Yeah, those Modern Warfare 2 lobbies were a treat.
Yeah, it's something else, isn't it? It's the ugliest safari you can go on.
Mm-hmm.
But Nathan, you, Adam, and we actually jumped into another game this week.
Please tell us about it.
Yeah. Nah. I think you should tell us. No, we played a game called Ready or Not, which is a like tactical SWAT PvE experience from Void Interactive or something like that. It's just hit 1.0, I think, from memory. It's been in early access for X amount of time. I'm not sure exactly how long it's been in early access, but yeah, it's just launched.
It popped up during the pandemic.
Okay, yeah, right, okay.
Void Interactive, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was fun. It's the tutorial is certainly kind of overwhelming, but unnecessarily overwhelming. I think that a lot of the overwhelmingness comes from a poor keyboard layout, or however you want to phrase that.
Yeah, it's one of these games that sprawls across the keyboard and probably doesn't really have to.
No.
I mean, there's instances where this game will tie like a dozen commands to the F key and just make that context sensitive, but then spread the minutiae of everything else out across the keyboard. So it's overwhelming to start with, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's fun. Like we had a pretty good time. And
Yeah.
so you basically do these. Well, I think the missions might expand. Like you would know more than I would, but the first, like, they kind of get bigger as you go along. So the first one's like a little. It's almost like a little servo or something, like a 7-Eleven kind of thing, or I think from memory.
Yeah, like petrol station.
Yeah. You go in and rescue a couple of civilians, and take out the baddies, unless they surrender.
Rescue the baddies and take out the civilians in Zach's case.
Absolutely.
To be fair, collateral damage is expected in these high tension situations, and we got the job done.
We did.
Spoken like a proper police union boss. This game is very interesting, quite detailed, extremely atmospheric, and very tense. So it's the experience that I personally would liken to maybe like GTFO, like just a really tense, kind of slow burn experience. One of your mates, Zach, actually referenced it as the anti-Payday, which I thought was such an apt descriptor for this game.
So you basically play in squads of 4, and you go in and you got to try and navigate and survive these hostage situations and stuff like that. And it's pretty full on. But as we play more, I'm sure we'll talk about it in the coming weeks.
Absolutely.
But you've played a couple missions more. How much more intense and stuff does it get from the first two?
It's excitingly ramping up. So there's 18 missions, but Zach and I have made it through about 3 together, I think, and I've made it through about 6 in the single player. Single player gives you a squad that you'll command, which is I have mixed feelings about, but it does make for a really great training experience that not a lot of multiplayer games have. Normally they'll chuck you in with some pretty mediocre bots, but the bots are sufficient for the training experience, and the missions, they ramp up in scale and difficulty and surprises. Like every mission there has been something that genuinely surprised me, and it's thrilling shit.
Yeah, it's good fun. Adam, how'd you find it?
Definitely better than Payday. No, I'm digging it. I think it definitely has that GTFO feel to it as far as the tension is concerned, and like the methodical pace that it has, at least at the start before shit hits the fan and we're blowing limbs off civilians and whatnot. I mean, allegedly. But no, it definitely bombards you with systems, but then once you're actually in motion, it all just kind of works, I suppose. But no, I'm really enjoying it so far, and I'm very, very keen to jump back in and get some more done with you boys.
Nice, good stuff. You been playing anything else, Nathan, or is that just that?
Like little card game with friends called Bonanza. So it's a bean trading game. So I've been running a bean stock market around the table. That's been great. Been trading stinky beans for red beans and green beans for garden beans, and it sounds quite boring on paper. Mate, I'm just sitting there with a very nervous stomach as we play. But it's a treat.
Do you get literal beans to trade around?
I wish. No, they are just cards, but you asked the right question, because it's not the first time I've heard that.
Okay, cool.
Wouldn't that be delightful?
What is your favourite bean, James? Out of all the beans you could get?
Oh,
I fucking love broad beans, I'll tell you that much.
Interesting.
Just like a plain green bean. Like a little blanche, so it's got a bit of crisp to it still. I'm good, I'm happy.
Yeah, boy.
Little blanche, God, you fuckwit.
Yeah.
like a string bean, or
like those green, just like a long green bean, It's like a regular old bean. No, that's a pea. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I don't really fuck with peas.
No. Adam, what's your favourite bean, mate?
I like black beans. Black beans are my shit. I'm a fan of Mexican, and black beans are the ultimate bean to have with your Mexican cuisine.
They
Solid. Nathan, you got a favourite one?
So the only one that I'll tolerate is beans. like you said, mate. Beans Shrek me. Coffee bean, mate.
Oh, clever.
Yeah, I can take that in stride. Good
one. Alrighty. Adam, what have you been playing?
Just the finals, mate. Hook it straight into my veins. It hasn't let go of me yet, and it's a toxic relationship that I'm happy to keep around.
It's just so easy to jump into. Like that's what gets me.
It's so good.
There's virtually no learning curve. It's the most straightforward like shooter I've jumped into in a minute. But still
grab the cash, put it in the thing, defend the thing, done. It's fucking mint. Zach, play it. I know it's on your console. Stop being a bitch.
I will play it. I will once this little wave of games has passed. We'll.
But then there's a big wave of games coming. Yeah. No sleep, mate. No
Not
rest.
for me.
Okay.
Not for me. I got Redwall.
Look at him. He's got broad shoulders. He's got this. I did see Redwall. Yeah, I thought you'd be all over that.
All right, let's move on. Do we want to get some shout outs this week to what has been reviewed and is up on the website? Mark has been a very busy boy.
Hasn't he?
I think we call out Like a Dragon last week? Anyway, we'll do it again this week.
It's possible.
We'll do it again. Anyway,
It's worth it.
Mark says, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth wears its title on its sleeve, a seemingly endless amount of content to explore, wrapped in an emotional and entertaining story. It's Like a Dragon at its very unique best 9.5. He also reviewed Turnip Boy Robs a Bank and says, Turnip Boy proves he's no one-hit wonder, taking a slightly different direction to his debut, yet still hitting all the right notes. Fun to play and enjoyable to master. It's a creative action shooter that shouldn't be missed. 9 out of 10. I don't know if Mark's seen a number below 9 this year. Actually, no, maybe he has actually. What else did he do this year? That wasn't a dig. That was just that was a joke.
I feel like there's something in there that got a 7. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but he has been eating well though. You raise a very good point.
Yeah.
So then Jordan did his Tekken 8 review, which we called out last week. You can go read that on the website if you would like, and keep it.
We
at
can
brief.
watch
a video.
Oh yeah, sorry, we do also have a video. Ash, Jordan has put together a video review of that. Make sure you go check it out. And there is an Infinite Wealth Like a Dragon video that you can go watch as well. Ash has also reviewed Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy and says, Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy is the essential final chapter to the Ace Attorney courtroom experience. It's hilarious, heartwarming, and mind-bending experience that will leave you cheering at every triumph and gasping at every ridiculous twist. I think that needs to be a little bit tweaked there, but good job all round. 8 out of 10. Woo!
Banger.
Absolutely. Anything else we can give a shout out to that's on the website? James, Josephina, and I will have an article out now. There'll also be a video, which is 12 Aussie-made games to have on your radar in 2024. Make sure you go check that out. We will probably have a podcast where we talk about those games in the coming weeks. It shall be very exciting, and hopefully the yearly ANZ release calendar is up and about. It's ready to go. Just needs a couple of little buffs to get it ready to go out. So yeah, it needs a couple of... James is going to bring over the coconut oils and just, get it ready, get it primed. But that should be out as well. Anything else that we need to call out, friends?
I think we're good.
We'll talk about the Suicide Squad in less kind terms later. But Ash and I put our nerdy little heads together and threw together a list of 8 characters that we think should be added as DLC playable characters. We may have taken the piss slightly. We did. We completely took the piss. So it's a fun little read. So you should go and read that as well. So
are you why we don't have review code yet, even though the game is out and it is launched in early access or whatever that is? Not early access, but it's
$165 early access.
Fuck
yeah, mate.
Running.
That you can't access early.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it later. I've got so much in the tank for this game. Just
so
someone does.
So put up a very, very quick little interview piece about Skull and Bones. I had just not leftovers, but there was a piece of content that we had to save for a separate embargo, which was this week or just gone. Sorry, about the game's endgame post-launch DLC content stuff, which is all free. They detailed year 1 of that and what's coming, and yeah, there's a little bits and pieces from an interview I did with the senior producer and director of the game in there. So you can go check that out if Skull and Bones is up your alley. All right, we're going to do predictions, and we're also going to very quickly, whip around and do jorts. Keep it very brief. Very, 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 very brief. Do you want to do jorts or do you want to do predictions first? Let's do jorts and then do... then we'll go see Ash. Ash has got something he wants to share with us. It's very exciting.
Very exciting.
Adam looks like he's been caught in the headlights.
Adam looks like he wasn't aware we were going to do jorts, but he will definitely find some bits and pieces. Fuck, I hate speaking about myself in third person. I'm going to stop doing that now.
I feel like Adam from WellPlayed should have realised it's the beginning of the month and, you know.
Nathan, why don't you kick us off? I know you're ready.
Absolutely. So, I'll start from the top. So, the month's starting on the... is it the 1st or the 2nd? Anyway, Grand Blue
usually
Fantasy...
start on the 1st.
Usually the 1st, yeah.
You boys. No, so Grand Blue Fantasy Relink on the 1st of February. So that's going to be probably the most attractive and interesting looking JRPG that we might be getting over the next few months, at least an original one, because we're actually getting Persona 3 Reload, which of course that's going to be fantastic. I reviewed Persona 3 Portable last year. I think I gave that a 9. So I'm sure just take that formula, spruce it up, give it a new fresh lick of paint. So yes, Persona 3 Reload. That's going to be the other big. There's more JRPGs this month. I've just realised. Fuck. How many hours do you have to play games in February? Because it's not going to be enough. There's Alias, which is this kind of indie, not quite survival. It looks creepy. I don't know that it's necessarily survival horror, but it's got a kind of a PlayStation 1, almost looking like the sort of middle gen of the Alone in the Dark games. So
kind of like when Clock Tower started growing up.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Yep, absolutely. James nailed it. The Thermaturge, this is coming out from 8-bit, 11-bit, and another studio, 11-bit being the Frostpunk folks. This is kind of a character RPG. There's some weirdness going on. It looks like it's set kind of in a Victorian era with maybe some steampunk elements and some weird paranormal shit going on. The trailers look great. There's Last Epoch. That's an action RPG in the Diablo vein that looks really flashy. And I'm ready to scratch that itch because I've kind of put Diablo 4 on the back burner for a bit. So something else can take that spot. Pacific Drive, I think we're all pretty hyped for that. The survival car game in the sort of faux supernatural nature setting. I don't fully know what's going on there yet, but I'm keen to dig in. Love the granularity of customizing your vehicle and the atmosphere.
Your wagon, bro. Your station wagon.
The station wagon, exactly, mate. We got Nightingale is launching into early access. So Nightingale is the Victorian steampunky survival multiplayer game that's coming out from ex-BioWare developers. The world looks really rich. I don't know how...
Huh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know the BioWare X folks were on this. That does pick it up a few notches. Yeah, okay.
This is a big part of it. The only thing that's making me a little bit nervous, I'm totally down with all the survival and the crafting and the yada, yada, yada. It's got some really cool monsters and that. I don't know if I love the fact that it's emphasizing that its dungeons, being a core part of its gameplay, are procedurally generated. We'll see about that. And then, the big JRPG of the month, the third, it is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is coming out at the end of the month. I'm still a little bit nervous about this because I didn't love Remake, but the preview for Rebirth was fantastic. It's open world, it's new, expanded open world, was just a joy to explore. I'm really keen to get back into that.
Nice. Good stuff. I will quickly go through, but yeah, there's Pacific Drive as well. Nightingale I'm intrigued by, but the open world stuff is kind of...
Survival games, they're not really your forte, are they?
I like them, but I don't have the time for them.
Absolutely. That's such a big part of it.
So, yeah, that I can't remember what else you said. But for me, we've got the Inquisitor on February the 8th, which looks like that Eurojank that I kind of need.
Sure.
Then on the February the 13th, we've got Ultros, a little psychedelic Metroidvania platformer thingy, which looks very cool. And then the big boy for me for the year, Banish's Ghost of New Eden, is launching on February 13. James is excited as well. I know he is. I can see it in his...
Very.
Yep. And then it kind of gets a little bit cool. I am intrigued to see what happens with Skull and Bones and its launch. The Thaumaturge, or how have you said that?
I hope it was correct.
Yeah, and then you got Redwall coming on February 20th. There's a anthology thingy. Even though those games are kind of a bit, how you doing? But no, I'm keen to support the boys. That's pretty much it. Then last one would be Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, the remake on February the 28th.
You get around the original? You did, didn't you?
I did. Big fan. Adam, what do you got for us?
I'm not going to do double ups. So Helldivers 2, it's changing perspective. It's no longer like an isometric twin stick shooter. It's now just a full fat third person shooter. But
did we only just find that out? Because I only just realised that.
Since the debut, like the announcement trailer. To be fair, the announcement trailer, I was like, oh, it's weird that they're like moving the camera so far down. It's an isometric game. And then they showed actual gameplay and I was like, oh, we're doing this then. It still looks fucking awesome. It's still like a squad-based shooter. You're shooting big bugs. Sign me the fuck up. I'm down. And the other one that I would shout out if I had a Switch would be Mario vs. Donkey Kong. I fucking love those little games. I think they are fantastic. They're just like little puzzle platformers. They focus more on the puzzle side of things than the platforming. And I really, really enjoyed them as a kid. But fuck Nintendo a little bit, and I don't have a Switch, so unfortunate.
Just gotta get in touch with KV, mate.
I will. I'll slide into his DMs.
James, bring us home, baby.
Yeah, no double ups. Everyone's already touched on pretty much everything I'm excited for, except for Star Wars Dark Forces re-release, remaster, whatever this thing is.
Cautiously optimistic. Yeah. Did you ever play the originals?
I watched someone play the first Dark Forces. I think that's as close as I've ever gotten.
I was obsessed with Dark Forces 2 as a kid. A genuinely remarkable first-person shooter. I loved that it gave you all the force powers and stuff like that. It was so groundbreaking. Yeah.
That was the one with the FMV as well, right?
Yes, it was. Yep,
Very
super
nice,
cheese.
nice.
But
I hope they get around to it. Yeah.
Out of interest, James, what's the game you are keen for the most out of what's coming in Feb? Because there's quite a big chunky lineup, so I'm just curious.
It's a great lineup. Yeah. I mean, look, Persona 3, I'd kind of completely forgotten about, and I am quietly very hyped for that because it just looks incredible. I am also like you though. Banishers is something that should be good. So I'm in the mood for like a double A experience. Just something nice and lean would be good. So
nice. Very good. Alrighty, let's go and speak to our good friend Ash, who's going to give us a shout out. Sorry, going to give a shout out to our good friends at SteelSeries.
SteelSeries is renowned for its innovative and award-winning products that elevate your gaming performance and experience, and the new range of Alias microphones are no exception. Alias microphones feature a capsule that is 3 times larger than most microphones on the market, giving your recording richer and deeper audio. And with the free-to-use Sonar software, AI-enhanced noise cancellation eliminates the background noise that other cardioid microphones will capture. With Sonar, SteelSeries has tailor-made an audio suite that offers the complete solution for content creators who want to manage their EQ levels, personal and stream mix, and it works seamlessly with programs such as OBS and many, many more. Available now, Alias Microphones and Sonar features everything you need to take your content creation to the next level.
Amazing stuff. Thank you once again to the team at SteelSeries for sponsoring the WellPlayed DLC podcast, and cheers, Ash, for your luscious spiel there. Alrighty, we've got an exciting time because it's predictions time, and we love predictions here.
We do love predictions.
We do love predictions. All right. I will go first because I'm going to read out Ash's, Mark's, and Big Little Rixie's to all of you. So we'll start with who went first. Mark sent me his last night. Here we go. All right. Mark's predictions for 2024. Adam, what's so funny?
Nothing.
No,
Nothing,
come on.
I'm good.
Come on, James. Why don't you share it with all of us?
Having a fucking giggle, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Just, post ad break, loosen it up. That's what it's all about.
It takes Ash an hour to do those ad breaks. We sit here for an hour while he meticulously does that. So we need to get back in the mood.
I don't think you'd
I'm
appreciate
sure.
your
I'm
review
very,
on that.
very, very sure that's what that was. So, all right. So Mark's predictions. Here we go. The Nintendo Switch Next. My console name prediction launches this year with GameCube support on the NSO, Metroid Prime 4, Zelda Twilight Princess Wind Waker Remastered, and Mario Kart Next.
Holy fuck.
Is
Oh
that
my
one
Lord.
prediction?
That's one prediction.
God, I'll treat that like 5.
Suicide Squad Killer Justice League marks the death of DC Games under Warner Brothers. Company changes tact and opens up branding opportunities similar to Disney's licensing with Spidey, Indiana Jones, etc. going forward. Bandai Namco announces the return of Soul Calibur coming in 2025.
Yes.
Xbox buys the rights to Time Splitters. One can only hope. Activision Studio toys for Bob to develop. Nintendo confirms first ever PC release. A port of Splatoon 3, an exclusive to Epic Game Store. Epic in turn releases Samus?
Seamus? Oh, mate.
Seamus, fetch the Metroid.
Seamus Aran. That's fucking mint. That is
Seamus
actually
Arian.
so good.
Samus Fortnite skin, but only viewable to Switch players.
Oh, piss off, Mark. That's gross.
Respawn announces and cancels Titanfall 3 again. Sega's power surge of remakes expands with Outrun and Sega Bass Fishing. Joining the lineup, Bass Fishing is exclusive to PSVR 2. Sony realizes the error of its ways and reveals new PS Portal model with ability to download and play games. The catch this time, only games on PS Plus subscription service. Kojima Productions confirms Death Stranding 3, included in Death Stranding 2. Also, marketing agreement with Bond's underwear because Kojima. Embracer Group closes completely. Good riddance.
He said that to you last night.
Yeah.
Damn. If only he knew.
I like the energy that Mark brought to his predictions.
I thought that the Bond's underwear for Death Stranding was a nice touch. I see what he's done there. Rather than Monster Energy Drink, it's Bond's underwear. Why? Well, why was it Monster Energy Drink? Why the fuck? Who cares? Just
I
Bonds,
would
let's
wear
go.
the fuck out of some Bond's Death Stranding underwear.
Wouldn't
you, though?
Absolutely. Any day of the week.
If it said like Porter on the little pouch,
Whack it on my ass. Let's go.
exactly. Yeah.
All right. This
And
is
you
from...
mean the little pouch? You mean the fucking...
We all know what I meant. You don't need to hand gesture.
All right. 10 predictions from Big Little Rixie. Number 1, Death Stranding 2 will release in 2024. It will have a subtitle, and that will be announced at the upcoming State of Play, and will be a title to market PS5 Pro. 2, the Switch successor will not be natively backwards compatible with the OG Switch, and instead certain Switch 1 games will get upgrades in physical repackaging. 3, a new Final Fantasy remake remaster will be announced this year. 4, at least one pre-Activision acquisition game made by Microsoft will come to PlayStation and Nintendo consoles this year. 5, right. Final Fantasy 16 will be announced for Xbox consoles this year. 6, the Switch successor will release this year and break records this year. Doesn't really say. Probably needs a little bit more context on that one. 7, the Until Dawn movie will be announced this year and will recast Rami Malek in the film. 8, we will not see gameplay footage of the new Dragon Age or Mass Effect games in development this year. 9. From Software will announce an animation based in the world of Elden Ring. 10. And I told him he needs to resubmit this one because I am not taking this one. Microsoft will not acquire a major publisher this year. I think that's too easy, that one. I think it needs to be a little bit more meat on those bones. Because there ain't me left for them to hoover up.
Yes.
All right, Ash's predictions. God.
No.
Let's
1.
go.
Embracer Group will desperately try and regain some goodwill by hosting their own state of play, direct, goofy garbage to show off the few games they still have underway. As part of this, they will either announce or allude to a new Darksiders title, as Gunfire Games have somehow managed to avoid the mass firings. 2. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League will begrudgingly garner some favourable scores from vocal detractors who will state that even though it's live servicey and yuck, the game is still actually fun to play. It will absolutely get at least 1 0 out of 10 score from a reasonably sized outlet. 3. Square Enix, after announcing their intent to better leverage AI tools to speed game development, will announce a project that is blatantly AI assisted, like a clearly AI upscaled version of an old RPG classic. 4. Focus Entertainment, the publisher behind A Plague Tale and Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2, will rebrand to Pull Up Entertainment. Then they will rebrand back to Focus Entertainment after realizing that Pull Up has made them the laughingstock of the industry. 5. Razer will likely get into the teleprompter market with an offering that aims to fight with the Elgato prompter thingamabob. 6. Discord has been flying under the radar for a while, so I'm expecting some form of bed shitting soon. I don't know why it made me laugh. Because it was funny. Likely changes to the Nitro subscription as they march towards establishing better profitability. 7. Classic Blizzard games like Warcraft 3, Reforged, and Diablo 3 will make their way to Microsoft Game Pass. People will complain that these are not World of Warcraft or Diablo 4.
I think I saw today that Warcraft 3 might have made its way to Game Pass. Or
Is it
least...
Warcraft 3 Reforged, though? 8. Valve will make some form of announcement about the future of Team Fortress 2. I want to say it will be a Source 2 version announcement, but I can't be that hopeful. 9. Naughty Dog will announce a project that is not related to The Last of Us. It will also announce something Jak and Daxter related because nothing that amazing will ever come my way. 10. Embracer Group will quietly kill off the recently announced Darksiders title alongside another gut-wrenching round of layoffs that now impacts the folks at Gunfire Games. Opens and closes. Comes full circle. Good job.
Very good.
That was surprisingly well bookended.
Yeah, it was. He's done very well.
He did that, yet I messaged him at like 4 o'clock, being like, hey, have you got your predictions? And he's like, nope, I'll let you know.
These are so much more detailed than mine. God.
All right, I want to hear James.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, mine are pretty tame, actually, by comparison now, but we're going to get through this. Capcom will announce the Resident Evil 5 remake and tease its connection to the also newly announced Resident Evil 9, aligning the remake and new title timelines into a cohesive product. Which I'm very excited about, obviously.
That's good.
PlayStation will recommit to the Knights of the Old Republic remake and heavily invest in its production, probably bringing it in-house, maybe.
That'd be nice.
Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree will be spun off into a standalone title at a reduced cost. A Bloodborne remake is announced, eyeing a 2025 release date. I'm just manifesting now. Let's be frank.
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
Can you explain when you say spins off into a self title? Does that mean that you don't need the base Elden Ring to play? Is that how we're?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, like it would be like a standalone game that you can buy.
All right.
Xbox will begin a pivot to multi-platform publishing. The Switch 2 is revealed. It is called the Nintendo Shift, and Metroid Prime 4 is a launch title. I like this one. I've got a good feeling about it.
I don't mind Shift.
A major,
That's good.
right? It's not bad. A major studio, I'm thinking like AAA range, will announce a multiplayer open world survival game coming to PC and console, because I feel like that is an untapped market that we're about to see a boom in. At least 3 major video game adaptations, television or film, will be announced, and one of them will be Red Dead Redemption. From Software. Yeah, I feel like I could see it. From Software announces new Kingsfield game at the Game of the Year Awards to cap off their year.
That's not happening.
And Jeff Keighley will turn Summer of Summer of Games? Is that what his little thing is
Summer
called?
Games Fest?
Summer
Summer
Games
Games Fest
yeah.
into a weekend event that you can buy tickets and attend a la pack.
I like it.
Oh, I like that.
Good
Yeah.
stuff. All right. Nathan.
Yeah, so mine's probably going to be the bare bones ones that you ain't going to be too pleased with, but I'll make a start. So I think it's time for a new Pokemon Legends game. So it's yeah. So I'll quietly come back to what I think will be Switch 2 launch titles. I don't think it's going to launch this year, but I think we'll get an announcement for a new Pokemon Legends game. I thought Arceus was terrific.
You're going to whack a
Yeah, can you whack a
questions
region on
galore.
this?
Yeah, yeah.
So what?
What region? Can we get like let's
And
get
what
in
legendary? Come on, let's bulk
there.
this out.
I don't begrudge them not having the legendary, but I would like to know
boo.
what region you think they're going to like retrofy.
I think that they're not going to go for something retro. I think they're going to try and redeem something quite recent, Paldea.
Oh.
Yes, we've been there
okay.
before, but I think, let's get a stable frame rate. Let's take a different look at it. Let's redux that shit.
Cool. Very good.
All right, next one will be Dishonored 3. I think it's time. I think there might have been some rumors swirling late last year that this might be something that Arcane could have in the works, and I'm very much ready for that to be the case. I don't think there's really any other AAA stealth game on the market, really, is there?
No, the only thing I would throw to that is that Arcane Leon are working on the Blade game.
True.
Isn't there other Arcane though?
There is, but I don't know if they're allowed to touch Dishonored.
They're too busy supporting Redfall.
Well, they did the stinkers. They did Prey and Redfall.
I like that you put Prey in the stinkers category. Controversial, but I'll support it.
I liked Prey.
Yeah, you would.
I was indifferent. Trails in the Sky. So remember, over the last couple of years, I've been chiseling away at the Legend of Heroes games, the burgeoning JRPG series from Falcom. I guess it's probably their kind of AA series. It's not the prettiest, but it's got a lot of charm and great writing. Trails in the Sky, the trilogy. This was the first 3 games in the series. These were PSP games. They actually might have originally been PlayStation 1 games, but they weren't localized as PS1 games. It's time for them to get a modern re-release, considering they've been re-releasing so many other games in the series, like the Crossbell Saga, and they're currently bringing Cold Steel to modern platforms like PS5 and Xbox. So there's definitely a market there. There's a desire there. I think there was just an issue with licensing. So that's one. Okay. Somebody's going to say fuck in the Dragon Quest 12 trailer. They're going to drop a big raw F-bomb in a Dragon Quest game. Why? Okay. Because when they did the reveal trailer for Dragon Quest, they really emphasized they're going for a darker tone. And if you've played any of the Dragon Quest games, you know that dark tone is certainly not what you associate with those games. They're very light, fun, and breezy. So yeah, just take a hard left turn, drop a fuck. Stalker 2 doesn't get it. Does not land on its final release date. Oh, whoa. Surprise. So I still hold that its final release date is not a final release date, and I am not aggrieved by that whatsoever. I think that this perfectly fits the mythos of a Stalker game, because they are famous for missing final release dates. So just keep that tradition going, baby. I'm sure the game's going to be good when we finally get it. Back to Dragon Quest. So now we're starting to dabble in some of those Switch or Shift launch titles. Yeah. So we're going to get the Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D, whatever you want to call it, thing that's been percolating now for a couple of years. I was surprised that we heard nothing about it in 2023. So I think that it's snuck under the radar to pop up again around September, perhaps. And then actually, we're going to get Game Pass on the Shift. Why? Because I've been wondering, I remember a few years ago, Microsoft and Nintendo were doing this cute little kissy thing on Twitter, and we saw nothing of it. Now we're going to see some kind of partnership, whatever you want to call it, Game Pass. Obviously, that requires Nintendo to have some functional, internet services actually going into it. So Fingers crossed.
Yep.
Sega, they do another retro console. It's a Dreamcast. They're bringing us a little Dreamcast retro console. It's time. I think that would be cute. Don't know what they would do with the controllers, but it's definitely something that would sell, or I would hope. Wouldn't it be ironic if it didn't sell?
What do you reckon the over-under is on the trailer for that hardware, including like a kind of mellow, chill version of Dream a Little Dream of Me?
Oh, there's so many cute songs they could go.
Could just fit, right?
I was more picturing like some kind of tune from like Sonic Adventure 2 or something rattling off in the background.
could
Some
work
high
too.
energy shit.
Limp Bizkit.
Let's take you back to 2000. Kingdoms of Amalur. Remember that game?
I do.
Oh yeah.
Like
More.
8-bit. Yeah. It's getting a sequel. That Embracer's actually done something. They've actually got something to bring to market. It's a sequel. It's not received as well as they thought. Rhode Island's up in arms.
I was gonna say, yeah. Where's Rhode Island in all this?
Rhode Island is pissed. But I would be delighted. I thought there was so much potential in that game in the original. So we've got another Shift. I just want to call it Shift now because I think that's perfect. We've got another Shift launch title. It's another 2.5 HD2, whatever the fuck, from Square Enix. They're just going to be piling those on at the end of 2024 because they've been so successful for them. Chrono Trigger is finally going to get a remake, and they're not going to do a 3D thing. No one wants that. Just give it the nice Unreal Engine, 2D, 3D makeover, whatever. Yeah. I would be so in love with that. That would be terrific. That's all my 10.
Nice. Good stuff.
Very good.
Alrighty. Before Adam brings us home, I want to go through mine are pretty quick, like yours. So first one CEO of a notable publisher will announce they are taking a pay cut / forfeiting bonuses to save the company from laying off staff to kind of get that kind of goodwill.
That prediction shouldn't be unusual, but yet it is, right? Like
no, but, this is more. Sorry, this is more that it's a public announcement. Like this is more that it's a hey,
it'd be a publicity move.
Yeah. Rather than them just doing it and moving on with their day. All three big games from the Xbox Developer Direct, so we're talking Indiana Jones, Hellblade, and Avowed, will launch this year, but only one of them will have an open critic rating of 80+, 1 month after launch. Another publisher will acquire the rights to Time Splitters from Embracer and announce a HD trilogy remaster. Fucking Mark's stealing my ideas.
Manifesting.
At least one game studio suffering layoffs will point to launching on Game Pass as a key reason for their, losing people.
Controversial.
PlayStation will not have a big name holiday first party release this year, and no PS5 Pro will be announced. AFL 23 Pro Team Mode, whatever the fuck's called, I can't remember now. Pro Mode, whatever the fuck it is. Pro Team, sorry, will be cancelled before it ever comes out.
Is that still not a thing?
That's still not a thing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Capcom will announce a Dino Crisis remake, also announcing that Shinji Mikami is involved.
Oh, why do you hurt yourself like this?
I don't know. Microsoft will acquire Crystal Dynamics, which then becomes the sole developer of Perfect Dark. The initiative is announced to be moving to a new IP.
Yeah.
All right, then a couple of little fun ones, but a little bit of Elon Musk will invest in video game development in some capacity, and his first game involvement, that game will see him star as the main character.
Can we get James to review it?
I saw that shiver run down James's spine. Did you?
Oh god, I would vomit.
Warner Brothers will announce that Rocksteady is developing a game for the Phantom, and the collector's edition comes with a full purple spandex get-up and a copy of the Billy Zane film.
On DVD or VHS?
Dealer's choice. So you can
Betamax, mate.
So there you go. There's my 10.
Good stuff.
I think you're taking the piss for that last one, eh?
That is
Very
good.
Yeah, I'd have one that was kind of,
Yeah, sure.
I like
Alrighty.
how you have a go at me earlier in the week. You're like, well, there should be
Okay, well, all
semi-realistic.
I think nine of mine are really different.
Fair call.
All right, what do you got, big boy?
Let me paint you a picture. The lights go. Now I don't have heaps of pageantry this year, even though it's at my core who I am. I'll start off with some tame ones. First is Beyond Good and Evil 2 gets officially canned. It's gone.
Yeah.
We'll move forward.
Yeah.
Ark Raiders will drop to strong reviews and claims that it breathes new life into the extraction shooter genre.
We hope.
I think they can do it.
Hang on.
genuinely think they can do it.
Can you read that last bit just for clarification? They say that they're breathing new life into it, or the reviews say it breathes new life into?
I assume reviews.
Strong reviews with claims that it breathes new life into that. No, they're not just gonna. I'm not just saying. Their marketing is that hey, we're doing this cool thing. Nah. People are gonna say it's gonna be good. Next up, we're gonna go a full calendar year without hearing a peep from NeoStream Interactive about Little Devil Inside. My prediction next year will be that the game will be cancelled.
Oh no.
Number 4, Half-Life Alyx releases on PSVR 2. Doesn't affect sales.
That was my prediction last year. It didn't happen.
Nah, and it probably won't. Number 5, Phil Fish makes a return to the land of the living, announces Fez 2 is back in development, cancels the game and retreats from society before the end of the year. I'm expecting this to all happen between September and December.
Yep, and it's that's a full prediction too. Like that'll come.
Yeah, the whole thing. A span of 3 months. Number 6, Fortnite will move from brand integration to brand assimilation. Fall Guys will cease to be a standalone product.
It exists only in Fortnite.
It will join the horde. Rocket League will cease to be a standalone product.
Yep.
It will join the horde. Epic will also introduce physical guitar peripherals that will be sold to accompany the festival mode. I feel like that's a gimme.
Yeah.
We've got some back-to-back Kojima for you boys because I know you love him.
Hey.
The first teaser trailer for Death Stranding, the Death Stranding film, is split into multiple segments and will be distributed across multiple regions. Fans across the world will be forced to collaborate to reveal the full video. The footage is literally just Norman Reedus sitting in a room with a baby that's crying in the background.
Fuck, I hate how likely that is.
We'll have to piece it together. How fun.
Yeah. Like a Strand experience. Yeah.
Like, we'll all have beaches. Next one is Kojima's OD game doesn't get another trailer. Instead, the entire marketing campaign uses subliminal messaging hidden within each of Xbox's presentations throughout this year. No release date in 2024 is mentioned. 9. The Game Awards will feature fewer celebrities, but it will find time for Margot Robbie to spruik a game called It's Fantastic, a short, narrative-driven Barbie game akin to Life is Strange that is available right now. Shadow drop. How great. Next, this is all one prediction. Award winners will also have a far more generous minute and a half to accept their awards, and the internet will complain that the whole thing was drawn out and boring.
Yep.
And my final prediction for 2024.
Let's go down.
The lights do go down. Riding off the success of Alan Wake 2, Remedy will announce that they're taking another swing at mixed media integration. They will reveal a project in tandem with a major streaming platform to produce a television series with playable video game chapters mixed within. I don't think the world was ready for Quantum Break, but I think they had something. I think Alan Wake 2 has proved that you can do games with live action. So I think their next thing is going to be live action with some games. There's my 2024.
Don't break the internet there, mate.
Good stuff, man. I like it. Well done.
Thanks, mate.
Good predictions all round. I think there's some pretty solid ones in there.
What a banger year. We had some really solid predictions this time around.
All righty. Okay, can you, just while we're here and while we kind of just head into the news, any predictions that kind of didn't make the cut?
I was going to write, I think Phil Spencer is going to start winding back his public appearances because I think the kind of goodwill train on him is going to come to an end and they're going to start putting Sarah Bond in those positions instead. I was going to put that in there, but it just felt too like serious-y. So
is she...
Yeah.
I always forget. Is she Xbox or is she Microsoft?
Xbox.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Nice. The only one I was going to have is, do you remember the very first PlayStation prototype, which was made by like Nintendo and Sony together kind of thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to be like, they're going to do this like retro gaming device called the Super PlayStation that has like a bunch of old school like Nintendo games and a bunch of old school PlayStation games.
Oh,
How good,
that's
yeah.
Racker. That's
But-
really good.
But the name, I was like,
I don't hate Super PlayStation.
Super Playtendo.
Oh my god.
It's a real mouthful.
Someone put a bullet in it. My other one that I canned was that Aisha Tyler is going to come back to host everything this year.
Fuck, I
The
hope so.
entire
I miss
2024.
her. Yeah.
Right?
Is she going to make a meme?
She's going to be all the memes. But yeah, she was going to... Doesn't matter if it's Xbox, PlayStation. She's just going to host everything in 2024.
I can't wait for her to come out and be like, it's a bit sus in here. Just like, okay.
Oh, that's good.
God, she's a trooper.
She is. She's the best.
Nice work. All right, James, you're up.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, put your somber face on.
Oh, fuck me. This week in layoffs, got a pretty big one to kick things off. Last Friday, Xbox laid off just under 2,000 people, citing the overlap from its acquisition of Activision Blizzard. An internal memo went out from Phil Spencer to staff stating, "It's been a little over 3 months since the Activision Blizzard and King teams joined Microsoft. As we move forward in 2024, the leadership of Microsoft Gaming and Activision Blizzard is committed to aligning on a strategy and an execution plan with sustainable cost structure that will support our whole growing business. Together, we've set priorities, identified areas of overlap as the important one, and ensured that we're aligned on the best opportunities for growth. As part of this process, we've made the painful decision to reduce the size of our gaming workforce by approximately 1,900 roles across our 22,000 people on our team." This primarily seems to have impacted a long in development Blizzard IP Survival. I think it was using the what's that Blizzard shooter that everyone likes or doesn't like, Overwatch?
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah, I think it was using that engine, but this thing had been in development since 2017 when they were starting to ramp up into proper full scale, and Xbox has come along and said, no, that's not going to happen. Blizzard president Mike Ybarra, is that how you pronounce his name?
And he used to work at Xbox as well, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, did he?
He went from Xbox to Blizzard. I'll double check that, but keep going.
Interesting. Okay. Well, Ash reports that he has also left the company alongside the original founder, Alan Adham, who returned to the company in 2016. Ybarra, in particular, has been quoted as wanting to be in it for the long haul and would only leave if dragged out, adding further consternation to the outcome of these decisions. Obviously, like for a year where we're already dealing with layoffs in the industry, this is the biggest we've seen by far. This is like a staggering number of people lost their jobs. And it's like, yeah, like it's an acquisition, it's a merger. This is kind of was always going to happen, I think. And it's a shame that the conversation around this didn't really let us talk about that this was probably going to happen. But yeah, thoughts?
Just very quickly before we jump into thoughts. So Mike Ybarra was at Officeworks. Was it Microsoft for 19 years and 6 months. His last role from January 2017 to November 2019, he was corporate vice president, Xbox Live, Xbox Game Pass, and Mixer. So he then went to Blizzard as an executive VP and then ascended into president and then fully ascended. So
To heaven.
yeah, it's pretty like that is pretty wild that he is obviously been given the tap on the shoulder because they've announced his replacement today, yesterday, sorry. Some Call of Duty former executive, I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I saw Jason Schreier pointed out that like it's interesting to have watched Activision Blizzard kind of like struggle for years over the encroaching different business models and sort of nature of those two businesses coming together, just for it to ultimately end up being led by somebody from the Activision side of the fence. Like it's just very like anti Blizzard as it was at the time anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that company looks like now because I mean, it's all Xbox now.
Yeah, but anyway, to answer your question, the whole thing is fucked. Because if you look into some of the stories and the reporting by Jason Schreier, there's talks of like 3, 4, 6-ish months ago, maybe a little bit more, that there were roles in, I think, Blizzard and maybe even Activision where they were actually forced to move to California to be, and they've now been let go. So, and you would think, and I was reading some comments and like I was thinking this as well, but 3, 4, 5 months ago when they were making this, they were fighting to get this merger through, they would have known that there were going to be roles impacted, yet they still, twisted people's arms to move across the country or wherever or maybe even move internationally. I don't know. Only to kind of kick them on the street kind of thing, which is, and it's just, it's shit. Like for a company that ended, I don't remember which day it was, but a recent day in the last week.
It was the same day they announced this. They closed with a $3 trillion valuation.
Correct.
And yes, that's not Xbox. That's Microsoft, who is same thing, right? But
it's the pockets. Yeah.
Correct. And it's just wild. It's just wild that there is that much valuation in terms, and they can't. They just. Yeah, it's very, very sad that they couldn't have. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they did offer people to go into roles within Microsoft somewhere else, and I don't know. But I don't know. It's very, very sad.
Yeah. Kick in the dick for me was the first thing I thought about when I read this was that really awful, cringy "We're an Xbox Blizzard family now" video that they put out when the merger finally went through.
I forgot.
And I remember we all hated it at the time. It kind of arced our backs up at it was all like integrating with, now Blizzard are part of the green brand, and it was all happy families. It was like to a sickening extent. And like you said, Zach, like they would know this well in advance. Like there's one job, there's 5 people. It's math. To put the front-facing, public-facing thing of we're welcoming them into this great new opportunity while this is bubbling away in the background is just, it's just fucked. It's really, and I can't remember where I heard it, read it, whatever. It's hard to internalize this, to think about 2,000 people. Like next time you go to some sort of larger event, like I don't know, music event or something, and look around and start counting heads, it's such a staggering amount of people that have mortgages and loans. And like you said, have moved across states, countries probably for these job opportunities. Like it's heartbreaking. And to see the stat of it was like 60%. We've already met like 60% of last year's layoffs. And it's not even the end of the first fucking month is just unbelievable.
James put out a really good piece on Kotaku that you should all definitely read if you
absolutely
if you get the time. I started one, I just didn't have another chance to even kind of go back to it. James has seen what I've written, but like my feelings are that like if this is happening to Xbox, I think the rest of the years, I think that's a bad sign for the rest of the year. Like if a $3 trillion company cannot afford, or is it laying off this many people? And I think everyone here, or just in general, accepts that layoffs and redundancies are just part of business, right? But when you buy a big company like that for $69 billion and then promise, it's all good, baby, like, and then 3 months
you're
after,
in the family now.
And the other thing is that I do feel for the people at Activision Blizzard, right? And this is kind of where I started my piece with, and it's before they got it was 2000 and I should get it up, but it was like 2000 and something, 2018 maybe, that they Activision posted record profits, yet they still laid off 550 people, right? So, this is a company that can afford to keep those people, but they were having, the problems with the court cases with Bobby Kotick and stuff, and all the sexual harassment side of stuff, or that was being covered up. Then you get bought by Microsoft, and you're like, sweet. Phil Spencer's a great guy. He talks the talk. He sounds like he's going to care about us. It's going to be great. Then the merger finally gets put through, and then you're told, no, you're out. Yeah. So I think it's quite sad that I feel like a lot of people probably would have been excited for this change to come we're going to be bought by a company that actually might give a fuck about us, only to then not give a fuck about us.
Yeah. I mean, that was like the crux of the piece that I wrote as well, is that like Xbox has done such a good job of establishing a brand for itself as the friend of everybody in the industry, like gamer and worker alike. And like that image is what is used to ferry deals like this through, right? The reason why the conversations around that acquisition were so fucking messy. Like, go and look at the replies to my tweet about that thing and tell me there isn't a problem in the Xbox fan community. Like, it is a fucking mess. And these people have just been, conditioned to defend a very corporate entity like this. And I think that's why I said before about Phil Spencer stepping back. Like, I don't know how. Like, I think somebody tweeted about this, but like, if you're in front of Phil Spencer and you're interviewing him and you don't press him on this, like, what are we doing as a media industry? Like, eventually we need to kind of, stand up and find some backbone, I think.
Yeah, because
I'll be very interested to see how the year goes.
Because the second part of that tweet is because if you don't, like, at that point, we're just marketing or something to that effect.
Correct.
Or just
it's the whole enthusiast press stuff. It's the stuff we're always trying to dodge and sort of not be explicitly a part of a marketing machine. And I think, like, especially when it's like this many people impacted and on this scale, just say something.
The real shit thing with that is that those opportunities would be very controlled. So, and not to throw anyone under the bus, this is not a but it would be something kind of like an Xbox. What's the kind of funny one? Like the Xcast. I feel like that would be a show that Phil Spencer would go on and talk about this, like how he did with the Redfall stuff, right? In a very safe space for them to have that conversation. And yeah. Anyway.
Yes. While we're still talking layoffs, unfortunately, we do have to touch on Embracer, the fucking Grim Reaper. Strikes again, shuts down development of a previously unannounced Deus Ex game, 100 jobs lost in the process. The studio confirmed this as well on Twitter this morning, saying that jobs have been lost across development, admin, and support teams. Just more. It's just more.
I mean, it hurts every time, but when you know that there's a project that you didn't expect that you were going to get, and then you find out there was a possibility, and you're still not going to get it. See, that Deus Ex one, that hurt just a little bit more as well today.
And that's that's a studio that has been around for a long, long time as well. Haven't they? Like, what, 30 years? 25 years? Or at least
Eidos has been around for a while, because they've been through the whole Square Enix thing. And
I was about to say the name has, but the team has fundamentally been overhauled.
Of course, But but that's got a legacy name to it.
Absolutely, it's a prestige,
and
absolutely.
Embracer just keeps fucking doing this shit. How it can't be sustainable for them as a company. I don't think. I don't know how they recover from this, like in terms of an image perspective, and at what point do they just simply try and sell off things rather than shut down? I mean, maybe
I wonder if they're even technically allowed to.
What, to sell? What do you mean?
Yeah, just the nature of the way that Embracer managed to swallow up all these acquisitions at once. I don't know the legalities of the gosh, I can't think of it now. I was thinking about it earlier today, but there might be, because they obtained so much so fast, there might be some kind of because it's within the EU and stuff like that, right? There might be restrictions saying you need to foster
period or something. Or...
Correct. Thank you. Absolutely. You've gotten all of these, so now you need to foster them. You can't just flip them.
I wonder if there's let's just say Eidos, for example, or have you say it, if they went to, let's just say Microsoft, because they got $3 trillion pockets, but if they were here's a new Deus Ex game, we bought it for 20 mil, we'll sell it to you for 10 kind of thing.
I would like that, but it just seems like a sinking ship that's taking everything with it.
I don't know, just again, this is another CEO that just feels like you read the stories about he's still got his private fucking chefs and shit like that. And it's mate,
is that right?
Yeah, there was a story about it. It might have been Polygon, but I don't recall. But it was interesting about this guy. living his lifestyle still, while he just cuts.
At least someone's allowed to.
Speaking of scams, Fantastic had a fucking meltdown on Twitter about the day before. So now, fortunately, the tweet's been deleted, so we can't read the full thing, because I feel like there are several people here who might want to do that tonight. But
I was about to say, I know someone who's got receipts.
Do you want me to fucking read you the?
I do not need a verbatim. I feel like we have given Fantastic more than enough airtime, and not just us either, but like broadly, this industry has humored these chuckle fucks for so goddamn long now, and it's exhausting. But broadly, they did jump on Twitter. They released like the standard JPEG, text dump image and whatnot, where they kind of ran through the idea of like, oh, we didn't deceive anybody, and it was a real game, and we tried really hard. Exactly, yeah, no pre-orders, it's all good. And then it takes like this sharp U-turn into just this really kind of like a word I can't use because I don't want to make Jordan do extra work. But it starts with like a literal like, and by the way, and it's like, we're not even that bad. Like it's so shitty. I just, these people are.
So I've got it up, and I want to read very, very quickly one thing. Yeah, so they talk about that we didn't deceive players, we didn't deceive the investor, and apparently the investor and them are still buddy. So pats on the backs all round, and those employees that said bad things about us, mate, were they even real? But
were they even employed?
Because we don't employ.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, the weird turn here is where it goes, who made money on the day before? And they say certain bloggers made huge money by creating false content with huge titles from the very beginning to gain views and followers, exploiting the lack of information about the game's development. Their actions triggered a gold rush among content creators due to the game's pre-release popularity. And then
technically that is correct, right? But like it only is okay because the game actually was a fake piece of shit. Like,
yeah.
But the idea of like a cottage industry that pops up around a game like this, we're seeing it right now with Suicide Squad. Like there is a certain thumbnail, a certain title that you are going to get views on at the moment.
Absolutely.
Because people like to buy into these moments of hype, even if it's negative hype.
But you and then it just keeps going. Because I've got to read this next bit because this bit's good. And then it says the headline kind of is why do they say that the game release is not the same as the trailers? Remember the experiment where you're asked to count pink objects in a room and then recall the blue ones? You won't remember any. It's all about focus. The negative bias instilled by certain bloggers making money on hate-affected perceptions of the game. Look at unbiased gameplay like Dr. Disrespect stream at release. Despite the initial bugs and server issues, he liked the game, which we fixed later, and the game received improved reviews over the weekend. Pretty sure it didn't. Unfortunately, the hate campaign had already inflicted significant damage. By the way, after sales closed, many people wrote to us that bloggers had deceived them and that they liked the game and they asked for access. We also heard that petitions were created to continue development. And on the black market, the game's price exceeded $200. And some even began to make their own mods.
Lovely.
So yeah, they basically did this on Twitter. Got a community note saying that this game is a fake scam. Deleted the tweet. Posted it again.
Wait, did you get a community note?
Got another community note.
See that?
Deleted it again. And I think they posted it a third time. I'm not sure what happened after that though.
Are they just getting shit-faced of an evening and typing this shit out, and then they wake up the next day and they go, "Oh, I should probably take that down," because that's the kind of energy that particular tweet had.
Yeah, I gotta start taking Ambien when I'm drinking.
Yes, exactly.
Not that we want to promote their stuff, but more be aware of their. But they supposedly the brothers are hiring or getting people for a new mobile game, so keep your eyes peeled out there.
Yeah.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Adam.
Hello.
Unsuccessful launches are a pretty common thing these days, apparently. The day before.
Apparently so.
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad.
Feather.
Yeah, you'd probably be sitting there, James, rightfully thinking, well, hang on, Suicide Squad isn't out yet. That doesn't come out for another 2 days yet. And you'd be half right.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to come out and say
Spoken like a bloke that doesn't have $165.
That's
exactly. So they're already doing this shitty practice of standard edition comes out for all you fucking mouth breathers. It's $115 and it comes out on February 2nd. Or you can be some Giga Chad and get the deluxe edition for 165 fucking Australian dollars to get it 72 hours earlier than the other plebs that aren't paying all that money. So you get other shit, right? You get outfits, you get this, that, and the other, color swatches, who gives a fuck? You're paying that extra $50 for early access. Let's not beat around the bush. That's the incentive, right? So what you would expect for that early access is to be able to access the fucking game
early.
Turns out, can't do that. The game launched in early access isn't what it is, but you get my turn of phrase. And people were booting up the game, and it was completed, 100% completed. There was a bug that the game played its fucking self, because that's probably what you're gonna want the game to do. So they took it offline because it's an always online experience. Because who doesn't love that? So 22 hours ago, that's when they pulled the plug and said, "Fuck, there's a problem." 17 hours ago, they said, "We've identified the problem that are affecting player profiles, and we're currently testing a fix. We'll let you know when the fix has come through, and you can continue playing." That was 17 hours ago.
Is it still down?
It is still down. That is
Doesn't that
one full fucking day of your 3-day early access period that you can't play the game. It's to the point now where even if they do partial refunds, they give you, hold on, they give you some Luther coin to spend in the in-game store. You can't fix that. That is like a sour taste in your mouth that you can't fix.
God
and this game
took time off work.
Though I would
Exactly.
say if you've spent 165 on this, given the talk around it, then you probably deserve that.
Look, if you have done this, I think you're an idiot and you shouldn't be allowed their money. But, it's also not your fault.
No,
right?
it's not.
And
no.
so, like, if these people want to have the audacity to sell it at that much, like, the least you could do is have it operational on that launch day, quote unquote. What a travesty.
What a fucking embarrassment. That's embarrassing. Just very, 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 very quickly, because I have to point this out because it made me want to die. I was watching Royal Rumble a couple days ago, and everything is every wrestling thing is sponsored by Suicide Squad at the moment. Fuck knows why. AEW, WWE, everything.
I mean, it's a circle of a Venn diagram, but yes.
Yeah. So the new live action trailer comes on while I'm enjoying my highbrow wrestling event, and I've seen it before. I kind of half tune out. There's a different ending to this particular trailer that's on Royal Rumble, where right at the end, Will Arnett, God bless him, I'm fucking sorry, and I hope you got paid a good amount for this. He dies. He's dressed up as Deadshot. He walks towards the camera. Yeah, he walks towards the camera as he's respawning, and he says, "I've got too much Riz to die."
Is that what he said? I watched that multiple times, and I thought I couldn't understand, like no subtitle.
Your brain just wouldn't let you accept it. Yeah.
Will Arnett seems like he's just, he likes a paycheck. He's become kind of like a Nick Cage kind of role guy.
For video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what?
Sweet tooth.
Bless him.
Yeah.
But
did you, Adam? I don't know. Did you see the clip of the game that was circle? Oh wait, I mean you're not on Twitter. Never mind. The point is, there was a clip of I'm guessing a late stage story beat from the game circling on Twitter earlier today that had Batman fans in particular quite riled up. And it did more to sell me on wanting to see what this story was than the preceding 3 years of marketing and lead up we've had for this game. Like I didn't realize the game had the ability to tell any sort of cohesive moment beyond its kind of like loud whiz bang Riz moments.
Yeah.
So I was very surprised by that, but I won't be touching
Riz,
this with
mate.
it. Yeah,
I think
we just got a Riz, well rizzed.
For all of its shortcomings, of which there are many, I think the really unfortunate thing is this is the last performance of Kevin Conroy as Batman, and I think it is a real fucking shame that this is the lasting impression that people are going to have. It's just it's really unfortunate.
Particularly because it's going to it's virtually going to go extinct in 12 months' time, right? Like, it's not going to be preserved, not really.
Yeah, real shame. But yeah, all right, that's my rant for Suicide Squad over. Thank you for listening, boys.
Tune back in next week for more.
That's it. See what happens. Last up tonight, more new Switch rumors are floating around. This time, there are reports out of, I want to say Bloomberg, but I can't remember, that are suggesting that it will launch with an 8-inch LCD screen. So the standard Switch is 6.2, the OLED model is 7. So bigger screen. Awesome, I guess. Happy days. The LCD part is the part where I think people are quite divided. I was initially very reluctant on this because, yes, it will make it cheaper for the consumer, but in my mind, I'm like, it's also not going to look as good as the OLED because the OLED Switch looks fantastic. It's an excellent looking screen. Friend of the show, Kieran Verbruge, though, over at Press Start, did point out that the PlayStation Portal that just came out does use an LCD screen and does look pretty good. So there is a world in which LCD screens have obviously come a bit of a way, I guess, since the first Switch. So this could still look nice, but I'm sad it's not an OLED. I really like the OLED screens for portable stuff.
And then we can probably assume that there will be an OLED model down the way as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just on the Portal, Mark is actually reviewing the Portal for us, so he has received his
unit,
and he is playing with that. So expect a review at some point in the next week or so. I know that Adam is keen to see what Marky Mark has to say.
Yeah, very much.
All right,
that's the news.
That's the news. All right, let's go to off topics, and we will make it quick and head home. James, you're doing 2000's film of the week. Talk to me.
I am. All right. Now, I've had to edit a little bit of this because otherwise it's going to give it away too quickly. Although this room, who knows, maybe it won't. Mia has just found out that she is the blank. With her friends Lily and Michael in tow, she tries to navigate through the rest of her 16th year with the assistance of her recently discovered grandmother. See, I feel like if I was asking a room full of gays, this would be a very different reaction.
I'm sorry to let you down.
I feel like I know this, but the grandmother got me, so I'm not too sure.
The star is Anne Hathaway.
Princesses something? Diaries?
Close.
Bride?
Yay, there you go. Yeah. Princess Bride. No, the Princess Diaries. Yes.
I'm sad to say I've never seen it. Am I sad? Not really.
It's it's a classic. It's good shit. Get in there. Get a bit of Anne Hathaway up here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've got time for it.
Zach, what have you been watching this week?
Big fan of the potty. So I have been watching a Swedish TV show that is called My Normal Life. No.
Sounds like a K-drama.
I really should have...
It does.
Sorry. My Normal Family is what it's called. I'm just looking on...
It's more like a K-drama.
Yeah. And it goes... So... I'm trying to show you without reading.
What's the genre?
Drama, thriller, I guess. Basically, it's about a young. Something happens to a young girl. I can't remember how old she is. 12, 13, something like that, and then. Then it fast forwards like a few years and she's 19 or 20 or something. Then something then occurs. It's basically about that.
And this is called A Nearly Normal Family?
No, sorry. It is called A Nearly Normal Family. Yeah,
this is what I'm finding a Swedish Netflix series that came out last year.
Not too sure, but yeah, I've only seen it recently, but 3 episodes in, and it's decent so far. Also watched Oh no, I told you that last week. Watch Thanksgiving.
Yeah, bad.
You didn't love it.
No, no thanks were given.
No.
Carry on.
Adam.
Nathan. Oh,
Adam. Tell us about your wrestling, mate.
Mate, the wrestling was fantastic. It was the Royal Rumble, mate. It's the funnest wrestling event of the year. 30 men in a ring, 29 get thrown out of the ring. One goes to WrestleMania. It was great. It's one that even lapsed fans kind of come back for because it's just got a gimmick attached to it. And, you get some mates around and you all draw numbers, and those are the wrestlers that you get, and you hope that your wrestler is the one that wins. It's just, I don't know, wrestling's inherently dumb. This is a little bit dumber, and it makes it even more fun.
are they literally all in the ring at the same time?
No, they come out one by one in, I think it's 1.5 minute intervals. So they're not all in the ring at the same time. That would be absurd. Right. They've done it before. They absolutely have done it before. But nah.
At least
Boys, no elbow room in here.
Yeah, so yeah. Slap some oil in there, it'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. That was my event of the past week, and I don't think I'm planning to start watching the new True Detective.
Same this weekend, I reckon.
Yeah. But yeah, I haven't started it yet. That's next up for me.
Very cool.
So April and I have been chugging away at True Detective. There's only 3 episodes out so far, so don't be in too much of a hurry. It's very slow burn, so you're probably doing yourself a favour to wait a couple of weeks and give yourself
I didn't realize it makes sense actually because it's HBO, isn't it? So it'll be weekly drops. Yeah,
weekly drops on binge. Yep. So yeah, it's good. It's very slow burn, but the main event for me is actually a 90s film of the week that I think Zach maybe mentioned towards the end of last year. It's The Quick and the Dead by Sam Raimi. Was that one that you mentioned, Zach?
Yeah, I'll claim that one.
Gene Hackman. It had to be you because you're like, oh, Gene Hackman. It's
I love Gene Hackman.
I care about Gene Hackman, but if anyone does, it's you. Leo DiCaprio, Russell Crowe.
Absolutely.
Sharon Stone.
Oof.
It's fun. It's a real 90s film, real 90s blockbuster, but with a good bit of Sam Raimi schlock. It has just this, if you can see a GIF or look it up or anything, the film itself, we've already been over this, but just boil it down. It's just it's about a tournament of duels, really. Just a little town. All these folks come to the town to have a tournament. Winner takes home a lot of money. As they're having these showdowns, it does the typical Sam Raimi thing where it's sharp zoom up on one person's face, and then sharp zoom up on the opponent's face, and then sharp zoom up on the clock tower because they're waiting for it to hit, the hour, and then another sharp zoom up on the face, and just these wacky zoom. But it's so much fun, and no one really does this kind of schlocky cinematography like Sam Raimi. I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was a great bit of 90s fun. I don't think it's a marvelous film, but the caveat of it being fun 90s film is definitely enough to float it by, and that's still on Netflix.
Oh, very
cool. Nice work.
Thank you,
James. How about you?
I'm just continuing my descent into Mobile Suit Gundam. I'm in I think I'm nearing the final arc. Things are getting pretty heated at this point. People are dying left and right. It's great. I am having a tremendous time.
Genuinely good.
Oh yeah, sincerely, I don't know if I've said this on the show before, but it started as I'll watch this as I'm falling asleep. Then it shifted into James is watching the 1979 Gundam, and then it shifted into oh fuck, I need to watch this a few hours before I go to bed so I can get a few episodes in and actually get into the story. It crept up on me with its investment, but it's very, very watchable.
That's very Gundam. Yeah, I've seen a couple series, and usually they don't start with the best hook. And you kind of this will just be background noise, and then it ramps.
Yes, yeah, and then suddenly, I'm turning to the screen, going oh my god, Mirai. It was good. It was very, very good.
I'm delighted.
Very nice, good stuff. All right, shall we? Anything else we want to share for off topics? Nah.
Keep watching One Piece.
Keep doing that stuff. All right, cool. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the WellPlayed DLC podcast. Big shout out to SteelSeries for sponsoring it as per usual. Everyone have a great weekend, and if you want to read any of their reviews or features, do go check out our Made Aussie Games coming out this year video and article. Would be great to get some support. You can see that on www.well-played.com.au, and we will see you next week.
Cheerio, folks.
Goodbye.
See ya.